The Neue Schule Turtle Tactio Full Cheek.
Hi everybody, this is the Turtle Tactio, and the Turtle Tactio is second in the Turtle Neue Schule collection. The turtle top was actually the first, and again this was developed through research done by the Neue Schule Academy, and it's based on the working angle, and there is a full video on the working angle, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. However, briefly, what we've done is, in order to optimize on comfort and to ensure that the bit is flat between the tongue and the palate, we've reconfigured the bore axis. So in essence, what we've done is we've sent the bore hole through at a different angle, so the bit will actually remain like this on the floor of the mouth. The Turtle Tactio is actually a very clever design. It's an oval profile, and this means that we have more weight bearing surface down onto the tongue, and this gives us much lower pressure. We also have a much smaller lozenge in the centre, and again this can be very beneficial if you have a horse with narrow bars, and you can check this out for yourself. All you need to do is actually lift the tongue. The other benefit is the way it operates within the mouth, because it closes around the tongue, not dissimilar to how you would wrap your legs around the horse. And we do find that this really does help with directional control. The working angle of the Tactio is such that it actually doesn't rotate forwards, it remains much further back in the mouth. And this is very beneficial if you have a horse with a short smile. Now, by short smile, I mean short from the muzzle to the corner of the lip. It also proves extremely helpful if we have a horse with tongue evasions. For instance, if the horse is inclined to either draw the tongue back or even slip the tongue out to the side. We find that very often it will completely eradicate that little evasion. And again, if we just have a horse with an overactive, with a busy mouth, it can be very, very beneficial. The other thing that I find, and other riders do tell me, is the fact that they don't need to over tighten the cheek pieces. You know, we've all done it. If we have a horse with a very busy mouth, we'll automatically try and lift that bit further back in the mouth. And of course, when we do that, we actually put pressure not just over the pollen, you know, the TMJ and, you know, the corner of the lip. Now, once we've got that added pressure in the corner of the lip, we've actually masked our rein aids, and, you know, we're all working toward a softer, more refined aid and a subtle little half halt, and the horse actually isn't going to feel it. So we often have, you know, huge benefits from the Tactio. I'm very briefly going to answer a frequently asked question, which is, what is the difference between the Turtle Tactio and the turtle top? But please bear in mind there is a full video going into much more detail. So in essence, the difference being the turtle top actually has a very uniform weight bearing surface down onto the floor of the mouth, whereas the Tactio utilizes the center of the tongue in order to reduce the pressure between the bars. And we often find if we have a horse that is very sensitive, it's stemming actually from the bar area. So we have a huge weight bearing surface, but we actually haven't got the bulk between the bars with the Tactio. So there we have it, the main difference. This is a very clever design, and it is patented. It's unique to the Neue Schule brand. You won't actually find it anywhere else. And again, through rider demand, initially we introduced the Tactio with a loose ring, but now we have it on a variety of fixed cheeks, dressage legal cheeks, and also a huge selection of cheeks for faster work. Here we have the Turtle Tactio full cheek. And the full cheek is really good for reinforcing those directional aids. For instance, keeping the horse straight or setting your bend up. Maybe it's making those tight turns when you're show jumping. It's also recommended for the novice rider who may not support their inside rein fully, because it's not going to slide back and forth. Owing to the extra stability, again, if you have a horse that's prone to rubs, it would be highly recommended. The only thing that I would say is just do be careful, because if you have one of those horses and you dismount and he can't wait to sort of rub the side of his face, then there is a potential for that cheek to get caught up. So just be aware of that. If you have a humongously big tongue, if you were to say, part the horse's lips and, that tongue was bulging through the upper and lower jaw, sometimes we refer to it as the bars, because most people actually do recognise that term, then again, it would be a go-to bit, because it utilises the centre of the tongue and it actually alleviates the pressure over the more sensitive areas, the outer edges of the tongue and the bars. So there we have it, the Turtle Tactio full cheek.